Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my Tabletop RPG News Roundup, this time for October 12th, 2025, where each week I take a look back at the week in Tabletop RPG News and bring you the highlights. Now, I covered this in my Computer and Console RPG News Roundup, but it looks to be an interest to those who like tabletop RPGs. The Starfinder Computer RPG has launched its Kickstarter this week, so if you want to take a look at it, you can on my Computer and Console RPG News Roundup, or just search it on Kickstarter. Aside from that, I don't have any other major news to cover from the big players, so we'll dive right into minor and PDF releases, starting with Undead Bestiary for Pathfinder 1st Edition. It's a collection of 5 new monster stat blocks ready to use for Pathfinder and similar systems, all revolving around undead monsters. The Pub Crawl is a 5th edition adventure dealing with a pub that wanders around, but something has gone wrong, and now it still wanders up to people and lets them in, but doesn't let them out. Hit Point Press has several offerings for 5th edition. There is Hecna, a campaign setting designed for levels 1 to 10. Creatures and Curios has a variety of new creatures and from a number of challenge ratings, as well as a large number of new magic items. The Big Book of Big Bads is a collection of 31 boss monsters of various challenge ratings, along with a number of minions and thematic magic items to go with them. The Field Guide to Floral Dragons is an illustrated collection of monsters inspired by flowering plants. Fool's Gold Into the Bellowing Wilds is based on a YouTube series and details the world of Ambria. And finally, they have Humblewood Tales, an adventure book for 5th edition, takes place in the world of Humblewood, of course. Elven Foundry has a couple of offerings for 5th edition as well. There is The Puppet Master, a dark horror adventure designed around level 3 to 5 characters set in a town where every few years an otherworldly presence reappears. Marks of Power is a collection of traits and abilities used to flesh out characters. Is technically 5th edition compatible, but can be used with other D20 systems. Then there is Oaths and Orders, which details various guilds, militant orders, and other organizations, and comes in a basic edition as well as a complete edition. Grim Press has Unearthed Spoils number 38, Spectral Secrets, a 5th edition offering that includes spirit and ghost-related material suited for the season, including new types of warlocks and rogues, a new background, new various spells, magic items, creatures, and an 8th level adventure. The Merchant of Memories is a 5th edition compatible mystery adventure revolving around a number of locations with a unique villain with a potential for multiple endings depending on how things go. Last Kings of Atlanta is a 5th edition compatible sword and sorcery inspired adventure where some kings upon an island in the midst of the sea have their civilization being threatened with collapse. Daring and Dread campaign setting has another entry for 5th edition, this time Dalinor, the Jewel of Kirinid, which details a city with its own district guide, NPCs, encounters, plot seeds, and so forth. Spells of the World Trees is a 5th edition compatible collection of 20 spells. Simple enough. The Dragon's Horde, issue 59 from Legendary Games, is a 5th edition compatible anthology of spells, magic items, monsters, and so on. Kobold Press has the Field Guide to Monster Harvesting, Volume 1, technically for their Tales of the Valiant system, but generally for any 5th edition compatible system, which details some of the useful magic items, useful magical and other items that can be harvested from the remains of monsters. Revenant Codex is a 5th edition in Black Flag / Tale of the Valiant compatible offering that details new subclasses, items, and other spells for Revenant characters, as well as a couple of new monsters. Populated Hexes Monthly, issue 49, is another in the long-running series of zines for old school essentials and similar OSR systems, starting off with the town of Junction in a new area. Slay the Dragon is a tabletop RPG now available in a digital box set, which has a streamlined D20-based rule system for quick-to-learn fantasy RPG goodness. They also have Advanced Slay the Dragon, which is an expansion on player options, as well as additional tools for game masters for that system. Mad Scribe Magazine has issue 12 out. It concludes the 3rd year of the OSR Focus magazine and offers a variety of articles, interviews, and resources for various RPGs. Stellagama has the Shrine of Ash for Shrine Depth Solo Adventure System RPG, available separately. This one is, of course, a solo adventure in a world with silent gods. Black Oath has Riftbreaker 2nd edition, available in print as an updated procedurally generated RPG meant to call forth the themes of massively multiplayer online RPGs in tabletop format, complete with its own crafting system, skill system, and so on. It has tools in it for solo play. I did review their original version back in the day, so I think this is basically an iteration of that. Monster Truckers Long Haul into the Worstlands is a core rulebook for Tricube Tales that has you playing classic monsters like vampires, mummies, and so forth, driving big rigs in a post-apocalyptic world. Onyx Path has Miracles of the Divine Flame for Exalted as a source book that offers the chosen of little gods. Then Renegade Game Studios has a couple of RPG offerings. There is a Wormtide, a sourcebook for Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th Edition. And then Welcome to Night Vale RPG, which is an RPG based on the Night Vale podcast about a surreal fictional desert city. And finally, before we look into the crowdfunding campaigns, there is Ashes of the Machines, a gritty survival horror RPG where you try to navigate a post-apocalyptic world dominated by artificial intelligence. And with that, we'll move on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only, and it looks like somebody's trying to fund a sourcebook for 3rd edition, haven't seen that in a while, called Kobolds of Frostwind Forest, which looks to detail a region and the unique kobolds that live there. Then London Gothic Shadows over Highgate will be a 5th edition era compatible entry into the London Gothic series, detailing a Highgate cemetery during the Victorian era. Oceanian Bestiary will be a collection of spirits, demons, and monsters for 5th edition inspired by Oceanian folklore. Adaptable Encounters, Witches, and Roads will be a 5th edition Halloween and horror-themed set of ready-to-play encounters you can drop into your game. The Warlock, the Witch, and the Wizard will be a 5th edition compatible adventure for first-level characters dealing with a wizard as well as 2 evil spellcasters. Ashes of the Orphanage will be a gothic horror campaign for 5th edition designed to take characters from levels 3 to 10. Alia's Guide to Sailing the Stars will be a 5th edition supplement with a set of modular astral ship rules as well as associated mechanics, lore, and treasure hunting rules. Lords of the Jungle will be an Aztec-inspired 5th edition supplement with various jungle lore, dinosaurs, and lizard folk material. Plunder the Horde will be a collection of material for 5th edition from Grim Press, actually a selection of discounted supplements, token collections, adventures, so forth, all from Grim Press. I think they've already put them out from one campaign just to let you pick them up. Redburn Road is looking to fund a point crawl for 5th edition set within an active volcano. The Devil's Screw will be a dark fantasy 5th edition adventure dealing with an inverted tower that seems to connect down to hell. Mega Dungeon, The Mines of Silverdeep, is looking to fund a massive dungeon delve for 5th edition with a large number of minis as well as massive maps. Nikolai's Guide to the Terrors of the Dark will be a 5th edition sourcebook for vampires, werewolves, ghosts, witches, and so forth. Gauntlet Runner is an offering from Esper the Bard that will be a campaign setting with dynamic dungeons designed for hardcore takes on 5th edition, where you are a dungeon runner competing in various deadly trials. Hall of Horrors will be a bestiary for Daggerheart 5th edition and Candle Obscura, which will have 60 plus stat blocks, a bunch of magic items, encounter hooks, lore, and more. Plug and Play Encounters collection will be exactly what it says on the tin, a collection of epic encounters designed for instant play for 5th edition with battle maps, enemies, and so forth. 100 unique bastions for D&D will be a collection of castles, bastions, strongholds, and so forth, for 5th edition, of course. Creatures, Draconis, the Peaceful Dragon Compendium, will be a collection of 70 plus dragons for 5th edition with a focus on peaceful interactions that don't involve combat. Cats of Ulthar will be a campaign setting for both Shadowdark and 5th edition set in the Dreamlands of Lovecraft. Allies and Enemies will be a collection of NPCs for Shadowdark RPG, basically like a monster compendium book except with NPCs and people instead of monsters. Erebus, Mythos of Vampire, will be a short horror campaign for Shadowdark RPG rooted in Greek folklore. Dark Forest will be a campaign setting for Shadowdark mingling Redwall, so featuring animal adventurers in a world of forests, lost ruins, and ancient magic. Dug and Throat Divided will be an old school Essentials compatible dungeon crawl, mixing with weird fiction and fairy tale style offerings. And finally, there will be Populated Hexes Monthly Issue 50, which will expand on the area introduced in Issue 49 by covering a broad overview of the Scarlet Principalities. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my Tabletop RPG News Roundup, this time for October 12th, 2025. As always, links will be below. If you like what you see, remember to leave a like, comment on your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.